Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we are going to be talking about King Richard. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros: movie stars Will Smith. Do I really need to go over Will Smith's resume? Well, I guess I will anyway for the two of you out there who don't know who he is. So, Will Smith, he's been around for a long time. He started as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then he made his way to the movies, really with Bad Boys, and after that he made Independence Day, Men in Black, Enemy of the State. Then his career took a turn for the worst for a little bit, but then he got back on track in like the 2000s, like the early 2000s, with a very impressive streak that consisted of Men in Black 2, Bad Boys 2, I, Robot, Shark Tale, Hitch, Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, and Hancock, all making well over 100 million domestically. One after another. It's extremely impressive. Then 7 Pounds came out, was one of his weaker movies. Then he took like a 4 year hiatus, made Men in Black 3, which did good. The less said about all the movies in between Men in Black 3 and the Suicide Squad, the better. And, Suicide Squad and after that, Aladdin are two of his biggest hits ever. Aladdin being his biggest with over $1 billion. And then 2020, he had Bad Boys for Life, which was the biggest movie of 2020. Granted, it was, uh, I wouldn't call it like, I mean, it was the biggest, but it should not have been the biggest, not by a long shot. It should have been. It wouldn't have been in the top 15 if things went the way they were supposed to, but they didn't. And so, Bad Boys for Life was number one, mainly out of circumstance, but still, it was a huge hit, and one of Will Smith's easily one of his bigger movies. So yeah, Will Smith, super recognizable face. Most people know who he is, whether it's for his movies or the, the infamous YouTube rewind. Oh, that video is a classic, a classic. He was a complete meme in that video. Oh, it was really good. Anyway, so yeah, Will Smith. If anyone's gonna watch this movie, it's gonna be because of him. So I would consider that his presence to be a pro. Although I will go over his shortcomings at the box office when we get to the cons, but still, I say Will Smith is a pro here. So he's pro number one, Will Smith. Pro number two is who this movie's about. Well, as you see, Will Smith is King Richard. Well, really Richard Williams, but it's not just about him. It's about his daughters, Venus and Serena Williams. Now, if you know anything about tennis, I know little to nothing about tennis, but still, if you know anything about tennis, you probably recognize Venus and Serena's names. They're the some of the few tennis players people can name off the top of their head. I think another one, but it was like super recent. Naomi Osaka. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know who she is now, and it was mainly I think it's because of Serena. I think was it? Yeah, it was like an incident that happened like in 2018. She did not look good. Oh, that incident. But yeah, people know who Venus and Serena are. So I feel like any fans of theirs might be interested in their story. So I would consider that a relative con, not a con, a relative pro, not a strong pro, but still relative, still a pro. So yeah, I think Venus and Serena being about them, I would consider it a pro. So that's pro number two. Pro number three, its reviews are very good. Last I checked, it was, I think it was like 91. That may have changed. 93. Wow. 93%. That's very good. So reviews are definitely in the awards worthy category. So that's an easy pro right there. Reviews being very high. Fourth pro, it's weekend. Like even if it doesn't do that great this weekend, it still has Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving, can really help it out. It can help it have a really strong second weekend. That way it doesn't, completely fall off the cliff. So I think it's the weekend it's coming out is good. And plus competition, at least right now, is pretty mild to say the least. I mean, as I already said, Eternals has played out. Ghostbusters Afterlife's going after rather a different audience altogether. So this movie's kind of in a league of its own for the most part. Until Thanksgiving, though. Then it has to deal with some, well, not really. December is where things will take a turn for the worst. But yeah, I think competition is not too bad. So I think it might survive. It has a chance to survive. So yeah, competition not being too bad, I would consider that a pro. What other pros can I think of? I think that's it. Okay, cons. Will Smith. All right. As I know I already said he's had plenty of hits, and that's very true. He has had plenty of hits. But at the same time, this man has had a whole lot of bombs too. I mean, let's just look at this. Wild Wild West, Legend of Bagger Vance, Ali. Uh well, 7 Pounds wasn't a bomb, but it's still one of his weakest performing movies ever. After Earth bombed hard. Winter's Tale, well, he was more of a minor character, but still, that bombed. Focus did meh. Concussion bombed. Collateral Beauty bombed. Gemini Man bombed. And Spies in Disguise bombed. All flops. And what's really bad is this actually goes into the another con. You can consider this con number two. Is that whenever Will Smith decides to make an Oscar baity movie, the results aren't very good. I think the only one that's actually done well critically and financially is The Pursuit of Happiness. Besides that, it's just is not good. Legend of Bagger Vance tanked. Ali tanked. 7 Pounds underwhelmed. Uh, Concussion tanked. Collateral Beauty tanked. So yeah, he makes like one of these movies like every few years, and for the most part, they do pretty bad. Will this do any better? That's hard to say, but I wouldn't put any money on it. Well, it might do as well as Collateral Beauty, but that's not saying much at all. So yeah, I think Will Smith has a bad track record when it comes to dramas. So I would consider that another con. So that's con number two. Con number three, it's a Warner Brothers movie. You know what that means. It's a part of the HBO Max experiment, baby. Yeah. Ooh, this experiment has just been terrible. It's been so bad. And this is the second to last movie, a part of that experiment. So there's that. But I mean, let's just look at all the HBO Max movies this year. In fact, I think I should be able to. Let's just go to Warner Brothers. Uh, okay. There should be a point here. 2021. Here we go. Oh wait, no. Well, we can get to this. Okay, Warner Brothers. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So here are all the Warner Brothers movies that have came out in 2021. Well, Wonder Woman that was in 2020 still counts though because it was also part. It was the first movie a part of the HBO Max experiment, so it counts here. Of all these movies listed, only 5 did okay-ish. Those movies being Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune, Conjuring the Devil Made Me Do It, Tom and Jerry, and Mortal Kombat. Everything else, disaster. Space Jam: A New Legacy, The Suicide Squad, In the Heights, Wonder Woman 1984, The Little Things, Malignant, Cry Macho, Many Saints of Newark, Those Who Wish Me Dead, Judas and the Black Messiah, Reminiscence, all failures. Absolute failures. All of them. So, when it comes to this experiment, the ratio leans heavily towards bomb. And for a movie like this, because it's like a small drama in the grand scheme of things, that's not good. Because a lot of the movies that have tanked have been dramas. So that's a very bad sign. But yeah, being a part of the HBO Max experiment more often than not is just the kiss of death. And I think it might affect this movie badly. Maybe not as it won't be as bad as others, but it won't be good. So yeah, I consider the HBO Max experiment to be an easy con because it pretty much it prevents the movie from doing better financially, at least box office wise. It cuts off its revenue. Like it really cuts off its box office dollars. And even worse is that this leads into another con. This movie doesn't feel like a big screen experience. It feels like something I can just watch on my TV, which I feel like a lot of people might do instead of watch it in the cinema. They'll be like, I'll watch it on HBO Max. Why not? I don't feel like paying money to watch this. So I could definitely see that happening. So I would consider that a con too. The fact that this movie, nothing about it screams like must see on the big screen. And another con I realized is that because it's a drama, I didn't realize this, but dramas have been doing just awful this year. In fact, I found out very recently that the biggest drama of the year, box office wise, is Respect. That only made 24 million total. Yikes. Like, that's a big old yikes. Usually, dramas can be very big, very profitable. But this year, that has not been the case at all. It's all been superhero movies, action movies, and what else? Some horror and some sci-fi. That's about it. Drama, forget about it. Mainly because the older audience they're just not willing to show up. They're just not. They don't think it's worth it. So yeah, this being a drama, that's very bad news, and I would consider it a con right there. The fact that dramas have been doing really bad this year, so that's an easy con. What other cons can I think of? I mean, I guess you could argue that this movie might get lost in the shuffle when Thanksgiving comes around, but I think it might do okay. It's December, that's where problems start to pop up. Once Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, it's game over. It's game over for pretty much the majority of November movies. So, yeah, I think this movie uh it's pretty much, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's almost like on borrowed time. Like it has a limited amount of time to make money on a 50 million budget. It has a limited amount of time to make money before Spider-Man No Way Home destroys everything in its path and becomes the biggest movie of the year. That's what should happen. So, yeah, King Richard's kind of screwed. So, yeah, the competition right now isn't too bad, but in the future it will be bad. So, that's more or less a con. But anywho, all right. So opening weekend. Ooh, predicting HBO Max movies are so difficult. you don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes I overestimate something and it just blows up in my face hard, like what happened with In the Heights and Reminiscence. Other times I underestimate something and again it blows up in my face and I'm just like, okay, great. With this, I don't know. I mean, the last few times I predicted like 5 to 10 million for, I think it was for Malignant, Cry Macho, and Macy's New York, and I end up being, for the most part, accurate. I feel like this might reach that same level between 5 to 10 million. That's what I'm going with, just to be safe. So 5 to 10 million, I think, is reasonable. It could do better, but I'm gonna be cautious. So 5 to 10 million opening weekend. Overall, probably reach maybe 30 or 40 million dollars. Maybe if it's lucky, if it has good legs. Probably closer to 30 million. And then I'll be it. It'll be another bomb for Warner Brothers. And then after this, they only have one more HBO Max movie, and that's Matrix Resurrections, which should do much, 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 much better than King Richard. So yeah, that's the end of the weekend. Just two movies. Well, actually, it's not the end of the month because 5 days after this, we got three movies to talk about for Thanksgiving. Historically, one of the more lucrative holidays of the year. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, but it should still be interesting. We got Encanto, we got House of Gucci, and we have Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I think we can all guess which one is going to do the best and which one is going to do the worst. All right. And Resident Evil is definitely not doing the best. All right. I think it's going to be Encanto will do okay ish. House of Gucci might do fine. And the Resident Evil is just DOA. It just is. But I'll talk about those three movies on Wednesday. Well, actually, I'm going to record the videos on Tuesday and then upload them on Wednesday. So you'll see those videos on Wednesday. And then that's it for November. Yeah, it was a pretty weak month. It feels like such a downgrade from October, but that's just how things are. Maybe if Top Gun Maverick came out, I'd be singing a different tune. But it didn't come out. Instead, it's going to be coming out next year. So you got to work for what we got. And what we got isn't all that good. So yeah, it just sucks. But December looks like, ooh, December is going to be rough, mainly because I have too many movies to talk about, at least at Christmas time. But yeah, but that's all in the future. But yeah, anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage of all previous prediction videos I made this year, all the HBO Max movies, the big ones, the small ones. I cover them all. You know, I cover the bigger ones like from Godzilla versus Kong and Dune to Reminiscence. From big to small, cover them all. If you want to watch any of those videos, you can go right ahead. There's also, let's see, the canceled series where I go over all the movies that are supposed to come out but didn't. I didn't cover King Richard. I don't think I did. No, I never covered it. So that's interesting. But if you want to watch any of the past, well, any of the canceled episodes I made up to this point, there's now 88, so you got a lot to choose from. That way you're up to date on all these movies and where they're going and whatnot. And go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. Uh, November recap will come out second week of December, right before West Side Story comes out. Yeah, but if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.